How does one decision change the course of a royal family? Carole Middleton has long been a quiet force behind Catherine, the Princess of Wales. But in 2024, she made a choice that reshaped the monarchy's internal dynamics. As Catherine and William stepped into greater roles, Carole's withdrawal marked a generational shift, one that left Queen Camilla facing an uncertain future. Was this a natural transition, or a move that intensified tensions behind palace walls? How did Queen Camilla respond to this shift? And what does it mean for the future of the royal family? Let's look into this in detail. Carole Middleton, born on January 31, 1955 in Ealing, West London, has played a crucial role in supporting her daughter Catherine, Princess of Wales. From her early years, Carole demonstrated resilience and determination, working as an airline stewardess before establishing a successful party supply business, Party Pieces. Her journey from modest beginnings to being part of the extended royal family is a testament to her unwavering commitment to her family. Over the years, she has remained a steady influence in Catherine's life, offering guidance and emotional support as her daughter transitioned into royal duties. However, her role became even more significant in 2024 when Princess Catherine faced one of the most challenging periods of her life. In January 2024, Catherine underwent abdominal surgery, and by March, it was revealed that she had been diagnosed with cancer. The news was met with widespread concern, and during this difficult time, Carole Middleton stepped up in a way only a devoted mother could. She was frequently by her daughter's side, providing comfort and ensuring that Catherine had the support she needed to focus on her recovery. As a mother, Carole had always been a strong presence in her children's lives, and during Catherine's illness, her role became even more pronounced. Alongside her husband, Michael Middleton, she helped care for the Prince and Princess of Wales's 3 children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, ensuring they maintained a sense of stability while their mother underwent treatment. The Middleton family home in Bucklebury, Berkshire became a retreat for Catherine during her recovery, offering her the privacy she needed away from public scrutiny. Unlike the formal royal residences, the Middleton home provided a familiar and comforting environment, something that was crucial for Catherine's healing process. Reports suggested that Carole and her daughter Pippa Middleton took on greater responsibilities, helping Prince William manage the children's daily routines while also offering Catherine the space to recuperate in peace. This period highlighted Carole's dedication not just as a mother but also as a grandmother, as she ensured that her grandchildren continued to experience a balanced and nurturing upbringing despite the challenges their family was facing. Carole Middleton's deep involvement in her daughter's life has always been a defining aspect of their relationship. Over the years, she has been spotted taking Prince Louis to local farm shops, attending school events with her grandchildren, and spending time with them away from the royal spotlight. Unlike traditional royal family structures where the maternal grandparents often take a back seat, Carole has been an active presence. She has ensured that George, Charlotte, and Louis experience both the structured discipline of royal duties and the warmth of a close-knit family environment. Her hands-on approach has been praised by many royal observers, who note that she has helped Catherine and William maintain a sense of normalcy in their family life. Carole's relationship with the broader royal family has evolved over time. Initially, there were reports that Queen Camilla had reservations about Catherine's suitability as a royal bride. Some royal experts suggested that Camilla, deeply rooted in aristocratic traditions, viewed Catherine's middle-class background as unsuitable for a future queen. According to reports, Camilla had concerns about the influence that the Middleton family might have over William and the monarchy. However, over the years, Catherine proved her dedication to her royal duties, and her strong public approval helped ease any initial concerns within the royal household. As the years passed, the Middletons' role in the lives of the Prince and Princess of Wales became more accepted, especially as their support proved invaluable during difficult times. Carole Middleton's influence extends beyond her role as a mother and grandmother. She has also been a source of inspiration for many, particularly in fashion and public demeanor. As she celebrated her 70th birthday on January 31, 2025, she was recognized for her timeless elegance and grace. Fashion experts have often praised her ability to balance sophistication with practicality, making her a style icon for women of her generation. Unlike many figures in the royal sphere, Carole has maintained a low-profile public presence while still being admired for her poise and impeccable sense of style. Her ability to navigate the public eye with dignity while maintaining a strong family focus has been commendable. Despite the occasional speculation about tensions between the Middletons and the royal family, Carole's unwavering support for her daughter and grandchildren remains undeniable. When Catherine publicly announced in early 2025 that she was in remission and preparing to return to royal duties, it was evident that the support system around her, particularly from Carole, had played a significant role in her recovery. The importance of family in Catherine's life has been a consistent theme, and Carole Middleton has been at the heart of that foundation. Her commitment to ensuring her daughter's well-being, her role in her grandchildren's upbringing, and her presence in the family's private life all underscore her influence in shaping the next generation of royals. Carole Middleton's journey from a working-class background to the inner circle of the royal family is one of perseverance, dedication, and quiet strength. She has never sought public attention, yet her impact has been felt in some of the most defining moments of the Prince and Princess of Wales's lives. Whether providing stability in times of crisis or helping Catherine and William raise their children with a strong, family-centered approach, Carole's role cannot be overstated. As the British monarchy continues to evolve, her contributions behind the scenes remain a crucial part of its future. As Princess Catherine continued her recovery, the role of her family, particularly Carole Middleton, remained as vital as ever. The Middletons had always been known for their close family ties, and during this difficult time, their unwavering presence provided a sense of stability. While the royal family followed strict traditions, the Middleton household operated differently. Carole's influence was felt in quiet yet significant ways, ensuring that Catherine and her children had the emotional and practical support they needed. Throughout early 2024, Carole Middleton and her husband Michael spent a great deal of time at Adelaide Cottage, the Wales family's home in Windsor. Unlike the formal royal residences, this was a place where Catherine and William could raise their children with a greater sense of normalcy. Carole's presence at the cottage was never intrusive, but instead provided comfort. She assisted with school runs, took the children for walks, and ensured that their routines remained as steady as possible. With Catherine focused on her health and William balancing his royal responsibilities, the need for a strong family unit became more apparent than ever. Carole's role had always been unique within the royal family. While traditionally maternal grandparents were expected to take a back seat once their daughters married into royalty, she had remained an active figure in the lives of her grandchildren. This was particularly evident when Catherine and William chose to raise their children with a balance of royal tradition and modern family life. Unlike previous generations, who relied entirely on royal nannies, the Wales children were brought up with strong parental and grandparental involvement. Carole was a firm believer in hands-on parenting, and Catherine followed in her footsteps, prioritizing a nurturing and engaged upbringing for George, Charlotte, and Louis. As the months progressed, it became clear that Carole's influence was not just limited to her immediate family. Her relationship with the royal household, while largely private, had shaped the way Catherine and William approached their roles. They valued family-first principles, something that had not always been a focus within the monarchy. This emphasis on prioritizing the well-being of their children over rigid royal protocols set them apart from previous generations. It also highlighted the contrast between Catherine's upbringing and that of past royal figures, including Queen Camilla. For years, Queen Camilla had been accustomed to a different structure within the royal family. As someone who had navigated decades of scrutiny, she understood the inner workings of the monarchy better than most. She had spent years proving herself within the institution, maintaining a careful balance of duty and personal resilience. However, with the increasing prominence of Catherine and William, she could sense a shift. The younger generation of royals was taking center stage, and with it came a more modern approach to royal life. This shift did not go unnoticed, especially as Carole Middleton's presence remained strong within Catherine's support system. Despite the differences in background and approach, there was no open conflict between Queen Camilla and Carole Middleton. Any tensions that existed were unspoken, shaped more by the evolution of the royal family rather than personal disagreements. Camilla, now firmly established as queen consort, had worked for decades to solidify her role. She had faced intense public scrutiny and had successfully transitioned from being one of the most controversial figures in royal history to a respected member of the monarchy. Her journey had been different from Catherine's, and in many ways the challenges she faced were incomparable. However, the growing influence of the Wales family meant that Camilla's role was inevitably changing. In private, Queen Camilla remained deeply aware of the shifting dynamics within the monarchy. While she and King Charles carried out their royal duties with commitment, there was no denying that the public's attention was increasingly focused on William and Catherine. The younger couple's modern approach resonated with the public, particularly with younger generations who saw them as a fresh representation of the monarchy's future. With Carole Middleton stepping in to provide strong family support for Catherine, it was evident that this modern approach was not just about appearances, it was deeply ingrained in the way William and Catherine lived their lives. Throughout mid-2024, Carole continued to be a quiet, yet significant presence. She was not seeking a role within the royal family, but rather ensuring that her daughter had the necessary foundation to navigate her responsibilities. She had always understood that Catherine's position came with immense public expectations, and as a mother, her priority was to support her daughter in whatever way she could. Unlike past generations of royal mothers-in-law who largely remained in the background, Carole's influence was felt in a way that shaped not just her daughter's personal life, but also her public role. As Catherine's health improved and she slowly returned to public duties, Carole began taking a step back from daily involvement. She had always intended to be there for as long as her daughter needed, but she also understood that there would come a time when she had to allow Catherine and William to take full control of their roles without as much external support. This decision was not made lightly, as it marked a significant transition not just for Carole but for the entire family. However, it was a necessary step, as Catherine and William prepared for the increasing responsibilities that lay ahead. By the end of 2024, the monarchy was undergoing visible changes. King Charles and Queen Camilla continued to uphold traditional royal duties, but there was no denying that William and Catherine were stepping into a more dominant position. With Carole Middleton gradually stepping back, the generational transition was becoming more apparent. The future of the monarchy was taking shape, and the influences that had once been behind the scenes were now guiding the way forward. While Carole Middleton had always been a private figure, her role in this transition was undeniable. She had played a crucial part in ensuring Catherine's stability and had helped shape the modern royal family in ways that would have lasting effects. As she retreated into a more private life, the impact of her presence remained, woven into the very foundation of the next generation of British royalty. As 2024 progressed, the impact of Carole Middleton's decision to step back from the public eye was felt throughout the royal family. While her involvement had always been significant, her choice to reduce her presence allowed for a subtle shift in the dynamics of the royal household. This period marked a turning point for both Catherine and the monarchy as a whole, as the younger generation began to step into the roles that would define the future of the British royal family. The decision was not an easy one for Carole. She had always been a hands-on mother and grandmother, deeply involved in the lives of her children and grandchildren. However, as Catherine's responsibilities as the Princess of Wales increased, it became clear that the time had come for Carole to step back, allowing her daughter to take full control of her royal duties. Throughout these months, it became apparent that the monarchy was undergoing a transformation. King Charles, now the reigning monarch, was faced with the challenge of managing not only the traditional role of the monarchy, but also the need to modernize its image. The younger royals, particularly William and Catherine, were seen as the face of the future. Their more relatable and approachable demeanor resonated with the public, especially among younger generations, who viewed them as symbols of a modern and progressive monarchy. This shift was not without its challenges, and behind the scenes, the transition was complicated by the need to balance tradition with the changing expectations of the public. Queen Camilla, though respected for her role as queen consort, found herself increasingly aware of the new dynamic. Her own journey had been one of perseverance, as she had long worked to establish herself as a beloved member of the royal family. Yet with Catherine's rising influence, there was a sense that Camilla's role was becoming more passive. This was not due to any personal conflict, but rather the natural progression of the monarchy, where the younger generation began to take center stage. As queen consort, Camilla remained committed to her duties, but she could not ignore the reality that her role was being reshaped by the actions and presence of William and Catherine. Catherine, supported by her mother Carole, continued to navigate her responsibilities with grace and determination. Her commitment to charity work and her efforts to modernize the monarchy were evident in the way she approached her public duties. While her role was defined by royal tradition, Catherine's willingness to engage with the public on a personal level made her particularly well-liked. Her support for causes related to early childhood development, mental health, and family life resonated with many, and her ability to connect with ordinary people allowed the monarchy to present a more humanized image. This approach contrasted with the more formal and reserved manner of previous generations, and it reflected a shift in the monarchy's priorities. As the months wore on, the royal family faced not only internal transitions, but also external challenges. The media, which had once been more focused on traditional royal events and the work of Queen Camilla, began to shift its attention to Catherine and William. The couple's growing prominence was undeniable, and their visibility on the global stage further reinforced their position as the future of the monarchy. At the same time, Carole Middleton's quieter role allowed for the press to focus more on the work that William and Catherine were doing, including their efforts to support various charitable causes and their expanding influence in international matters. Queen Camilla, meanwhile, had to adapt to this shift. As a royal who had spent decades navigating public scrutiny, she was no stranger to criticism and the complexities of royal life. However, this new phase in the monarchy brought with it challenges that even Camilla could not have predicted. With Catherine now fully immersed in her royal duties and Carole Middleton taking a step back, Queen Camilla was faced with the reality that her influence, while still significant, was no longer as central to the family's public image. In the midst of this, Carole Middleton's decision was quietly acknowledged. It was not a decision that attracted significant public attention, but its impact was felt deeply within the family. Carole's ability to step back from the spotlight, allowing Catherine and William to take on more of the public-facing roles, demonstrated the strength of their family bond. Carole had always been supportive of Catherine's role in the monarchy, and her decision to reduce her involvement was made with the recognition that Catherine's position would only continue to grow. By the end of 2024, the changing dynamics within the royal family were becoming clearer. Catherine and William were firmly established as the future leaders of the monarchy, and their approach to royal duties continued to reflect the evolving expectations of the British public. Queen Camilla, while still a respected figure, was adjusting to her more secondary role, and her influence was being reshaped by the rising prominence of her stepchildren. This period was not without its challenges, but it marked a time of reflection and transition within the royal family. Looking ahead, the role of Carole Middleton remained vital, even as she took a step back from the public eye. Her influence had helped shape Catherine into the strong, compassionate figure she had become, and her support continued to be a cornerstone of Catherine's life. As the monarchy moved into a new era, the legacy of Carole Middleton's quiet strength would remain a key part of the foundation upon which the future of the royal family was built. As the royal family moved further into 2025, the gradual shift in dynamics became more apparent. While King Charles and Queen Camilla continued to fulfill their duties, it was undeniable that the future of the monarchy was increasingly being shaped by William and Catherine. The younger generation's approach to royal responsibilities was noticeably different from that of previous rulers, emphasizing direct engagement with the public and a modernized vision for the monarchy. Carole Middleton, despite stepping back from public visibility, remained a steady presence behind the scenes, providing support when needed while allowing Catherine to grow fully into her role. The transition was not abrupt, nor was it an indication of division within the royal family. Instead, it reflected the natural course of change that had long been anticipated. Queen Camilla, who had spent years carving out her place within the monarchy, found herself in a more reserved role, watching as Catherine and William assumed greater prominence. While she remained an essential figure alongside King Charles, the focus of the public and the media had shifted toward the next generation. This was not a reflection of her diminishing importance, but rather the monarchy's inevitable progression, which had been set in motion even before Charles's ascension to the throne. For Catherine, the weight of her responsibilities had never been greater. Her return to royal duties after a period of recovery was met with immense public support, and her engagements carried even more significance. The public had always admired her poise and dedication, but in recent months she had solidified her image as a figure of strength and resilience. Every appearance she made reinforced the trust that people had in her, and she carried her duties with an air of quiet confidence. William and Catherine had always emphasized a hands-on approach, whether it was through their engagements with charities, their advocacy for mental health awareness, or their focus on supporting military families. These efforts did not go unnoticed, and their ability to connect with ordinary people only strengthened their standing. Carole Middleton's retreat from the public eye did not mean she was no longer involved in her daughter's life. On the contrary, her influence continued in more subtle ways. She remained a source of stability for Catherine, ensuring that despite the demands of royal life, she never lost sight of the values that had been instilled in her from childhood. The Middletons had always placed family at the center of everything, and that philosophy extended into the way Catherine and William were raising their own children. Prince George, as the future king, was being brought up with a careful balance of responsibility and normalcy. Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis, too, were experiencing an upbringing that combined royal tradition with the warmth and grounding influence of their mother's side of the family. The connection between Catherine and her parents had always been strong, and it was no surprise that despite Carole's decision to step back from public life, she continued to be a guiding force. Her presence may not have been widely publicized, but those within the royal circle understood the depth of the bond between Catherine and her mother. Unlike previous generations where royal mothers-in-law remained distant figures, Carole had always been actively involved. Her support extended beyond emotional reassurance. She had played an instrumental role in ensuring that Catherine was prepared for the immense responsibilities that came with being the Princess of Wales. As the months passed, Queen Camilla continued to fulfill her role with grace, yet she was undoubtedly aware of the gradual shift in perception. The monarchy was now operating in a space where tradition met modernity, and the younger generation was setting the tone for its future direction. The role of the queen consort had always been one of quiet support, standing beside the reigning monarch, offering guidance when necessary. Camilla had spent years building her public image, overcoming significant challenges, and earning the respect of both the royal family and the public. However, as the attention shifted more toward William and Catherine, it was clear that the monarchy's next chapter was already unfolding. Carole Middleton's decision to step back had not only impacted her own life, but had also played a role in shaping the future of the monarchy. While she was no longer as visible in royal circles, the groundwork she had laid in ensuring that Catherine was equipped for the challenges ahead was evident. The Princess of Wales was now fully embracing her role, and with William by her side, they were forging a path that reflected the changing values of the modern world. Their focus on mental health initiatives, early childhood development, and sustainable leadership had resonated deeply with the public, ensuring that the monarchy remained relevant in an era of evolving expectations. As 2025 progressed, the royal family continued to adapt. King Charles, while still active in his duties, had begun to delegate more responsibilities to William and Catherine. This shift was not immediate, but it was noticeable. The future king and queen were already taking on an increasing number of engagements, solidifying their presence both in the United Kingdom and on the international stage. While Queen Camilla remained at the side of King Charles, her influence within the family's public-facing role was changing. It was not a matter of diminishing status, but rather an acknowledgement that the monarchy was preparing for its next era. Carole Middleton's story within the royal narrative was not one of grand statements or high-profile appearances. Instead, it was one of quiet resilience, steadfast support, and an understanding of when to step forward and when to step back. Her role in Catherine's life had been invaluable, and as she took a more private approach, the impact of her influence remained undeniable. She had provided a foundation that had allowed her daughter to step fully into her responsibilities. And now, as Catherine and William stood at the forefront of the monarchy's evolution, it was clear that her contributions had left a lasting imprint. The monarchy's future was unfolding in real time, shaped by those who carried its legacy forward. While the past had been defined by tradition, the present and future were being molded by figures who understood the need for balance between duty and human connection. Catherine and William represented that shift, and as their roles continued to expand, the support system they had built over the years with Carole Middleton as a central figure remained an unspoken but essential part of their journey. Even as Carole retreated from the public eye, the essence of her presence lingered in the values she had instilled, in the choices Catherine made, and in the way the next generation of royals would carry themselves. The monarchy was changing, evolving with time, and as William and Catherine stepped further into their roles, the quiet influence of those who had shaped them would always remain. With that, we have reached the end of today's video. If you have come this far with us, be sure to check out other videos on the channel.